How do we have hope in times of trouble? Well, in order to have hope, you need to have something to hope in, some place to put your hope, or someone to put your hope in, right? If you don't have that eternal destiny to look forward to, then it's going to be very easy to lose hope, because there is no guarantee that there's going to be a better ending, right? That there's going to be a better outcome, that there's going to be an end to this pain and suffering, or these difficulties you're going through. I'm responding to an interview with Richard Dawkins, with atheist Richard Dawkins, author of The God Delusion, where the interviewer asks him about death and whether he fears death. And he says he fears the process of dying, but he doesn't really fear death per se. And one of the things he said in explaining why he doesn't particularly fear death itself is something I've heard from a number of atheists, of skeptics over the time, said slightly different ways, but the same basic premise. And he said that death is, the way he put it, was death is an escape from pain. All right, a lot of other people I've heard refer to it as relief, that death can be the final relief from the pain and suffering of this world. And the problem with that is that viewpoint is completely inconsistent with their atheistic worldview. Because I got news for you. If atheism is true and there is no God, death has no hope to offer you. Atheism rather has no hope to offer you with death. None. After death, it has no hope to offer you. Here's why. We talk about, atheists will sometimes talk about death providing relief from pain, relief from suffering. Well, the problem with that is that in order for relief to be relief, there has to be a person on both sides of the event, an existing person on both sides of the event. Let me give you this illustration. Pretend we're trying to evaluate whether a certain pain medicine works or not. What do we need in order to make that evaluation? Well, we need first a person who is experiencing pain, right? And then we need the event of them taking the pain medicine. And then we need that same person afterwards so that we can evaluate whether they are experiencing less pain. All right? That's how you know whether that pain has been relieved, whether they have experienced relief from that pain. The problem is, atheism doesn't have that last part. It has a person in pain, and it has the event of death, which is what they're claiming provides relief from pain, but it doesn't have that person. According to atheism, once death happens, that person ceases to exist. So there is no person afterwards to experience relief. If you don't experience relief, if there's no person to experience relief, then there's no relief, is there? All right. And so atheism cannot offer hope, the same hope that we're talking about that Christianity can offer. With Christianity, we know what that last chapter is. All right. That last chapter is that we get a new heaven, a new earth, a new body, and a glorious existence living eternally with God. And because we know that's coming, that can give us hope, a place we can put our hope, so that we can find the strength to persevere through difficult times in our life. With atheism, that's not what their last chapter says, is it? Their last chapter says that you suffer, you die, and that's it. The end. Where's the hope in that? There's literally nothing to put your hope in that circumstance. And if there's nothing to put your hope in, then you can't provide hope through times of suffering, through difficult times. And you cannot claim that death is a relief from pain and suffering, because according to your worldview, there's no one to experience relief. If there's no one to experience relief, there can't be relief. Now, a couple people who commented on that YouTube short actually challenged me and said, well, Richard Dawkins didn't use the word relief. You used the word relief. You made that up. You're misquoting him. He used the word escape. He said death is an escape from pain. Yeah, you ever heard the phrase of a distinction without a difference? That is a distinction without a difference. And let me ask you a simple example. If you have an inmate who's locked up in prison and he's trying to escape the prison, right? And he's climbing the outer fence. And while he's climbing the fence to get out of the prison, a guard sees him, a guard shoots him, and he dies. Would you say that person successfully escaped the prison? Are you calling out the U.S. Marshals to go hunt down this escaped convict? No, because no one escaped. In order for there to be an escape, you have to have a person who's incarcerated beforehand, then the escape attempt, and then the same person outside the walls of the prison afterwards, still existing, having experienced the escape. So the problem is the same no matter what terminology you choose to use to describe it. No matter what word you think best fits, the truth is still the same. Atheism has nothing after death. So they have no place to put your hope into. So, I don't want to sound overly blunt here, but the fact of the matter is, if you don't believe in Christ, and if you don't believe in God, then you have no comfort to give someone who's experiencing loss. You have no hope to give someone who's going through pain and suffering. Because there is no guarantee on your worldview, if you're an atheist, right? There is no guarantee that there will ever be an end to that suffering. That person, for the entire rest of their existence, may continue to experience even worsening suffering by your worldview. And they have no hope. All right? And so you really have nothing to say to that person. You have no comfort to give. All right? I know that's a hard truth, but it is a truth nonetheless.